Oh boy. Alright, so this is going to be my review of Frankenstein versus the Mummy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Now, this movie is a direct-to-DVD movie that I saw at Walmart for about $10. I didn't buy it. I actually found it here on YouTube. Actually, someone posted the whole video on YouTube. It's probably taken down by now, but I saw the whole movie, and I was actually thinking about like buying it at Walmart right there for $10. I mean, yeah, $10 DVD. It only sweetens the deal when you find one of those $5 DVDs. I mean, hell, half the DVDs I'm getting on a tangent. I'm sorry. Bottom line, I'm glad I didn't spend $10 on this, because this is not worth your time or your money. This is an almost 2-hour movie. Now that's pretty long for something that's like that came out in DVD. It may have gotten like a widescreen release. I don't know. All I know is that it came out on DVD. I'm not really sure if it actually premiered on any theaters or whatever, like an indie film or whatever. But seriously, it's pretty long. It's almost 2 hours. And pretty much the only time the Frankenstein and the Mummy fight is at the end of the film. Now, here's the thing with this film. I feel like the writer/director had an idea for a Frankenstein movie and the Mummy movie, but the director/writer never really had an idea he had two separate ideas. This person had two separate ideas for a Mummy movie and a Frankenstein movie, but he never really had enough to go on for both. So he's like, I'll just put them together, that'll work. Because seriously, this movie feels so disjointed. This movie feels like it wants to be a Frankenstein movie, and then the other half wants to be a Mummy movie. Hell, at the end, the Frankenstein monster and the Mummy monster are actually surprised to meet each other. They don't know about each other's existence. The point about a lot of crossover movies, when you do these, is that the characters probably have a knowledge about each other and meet each other early on. Like, obviously, Freddy vs. Jason, King Kong vs. Godzilla, and Alien vs. Predator, is that those films, they at least, they encountered one another, and the plot itself gave it proper reason as to why these characters run into each other. Obviously, with Freddy vs. Jason, Freddy used Jason to spark fear again. With King Kong vs. Godzilla, a pharmaceutical company, for whatever goddamn reason, I still don't understand to this day, brought Kong here to make him popular over Godzilla. And with Alien vs. Predator, the Predators hunt the aliens. Okay. This movie, it feels like it's trying to be two movies in the same one, because it's doing two different plot lines, and they don't coalesce until the end of the film. Like, I'm not even shitting you, like, at the very end of the film. Now, what I mean by that is that this is, let me try to get my thoughts here. Let me talk about the plot. Yeah, 3 minutes in and I haven't talked about the plot yet, I'm sorry. So the plot is that Victor Frankenstein, and it's not like set in the 1800s, although admittedly, if you set this in the 1800s or the late 1800s or mid 1800s, it would have really worked there. But here it's like modern day stuff, and Victor Frankenstein in this universe, he's not like the great-grandson or the ancestor or anything. No, he is just Victor Frankenstein, who they just call Professor F or Victor. They don't call him he doesn't even say the word Frankenstein till the very end of the movie. So, yeah. And he's this hip young guy, he's cool, he's the head of a university, he's dating this girl who digs up mummies. And admittedly, they start out, when they're talking to because they're both university teachers, they admittedly have some really good lines at the beginning of the film. They really do, like, when Frankenstein is, when Victor's talking to his students about what the meaning of life is, why do we really exist, and, immortals only belong to the gods, and, if we can be gods, and the gods can become us. That's really cool. And then when it goes to her, she talks about, when someone says, look, aliens built the pyramids, and then she said, look, and I love this line, I really do, where she says, where one of her students says, some people would not believe you, and then she responds with, some people who, a long time ago, a lot of people, I'm getting tongue-tied. The student says, a lot of people would disagree with you, and she responds with, you know, a long time ago, a lot of people believed the world was flat. Then later on, a lot of people thought other people were witches. Just because there's a lot of people, it usually means there's a lot of stupid people. And I was like, that is cool! But that's as far as the writing gets, because seriously, and I'm not shitting you, there are some lines in here, and you'll know them if you ever see this movie, you'll know them when you hear them, that would literally, like, you would see these in Twilight or 50 Shades of Grey. That is how corny the romantic lines are. And, yeah, these characters get dumber and dumber. And then there's even plot lines that just don't make any frickin' sense. Like, for some reason, the mummy thinks that that the girl is the person who cursed his soul to be trapped in his body. He can never go to the afterlife. And yeah, it's strange because, again, I feel like this was trying to be two different movies, and it does feel like two different movies. Anyway. There is actually good in this film. Don't get me wrong. There's actually really good stuff in this movie. And it took me a while to get into it, but there is some good stuff in this movie. First off, the Frankenstein monster and the mummy actually look really good. I really like it when, a mummy actually looks like it has bandages all over it. And don't get me wrong, the last time, I like the mummy, the Arnold Vosloo type mummy, Emotep and all that, but I really like, to see a mummy in bandages and all that. I don't think we have that. We haven't had that in a long time. We've usually had the whole mummy's curse kind of thing. I think the last time, and I could be wrong, because they're, mummy movies are so far and, rare these days. But the last time we saw a, bandaged mummy was way back, at least to my knowledge, all the way back to Christopher Lee's Hammer movie, where he played the mummy in the Hammer horror films. So I really give credit that, and also the makeup and practical effects look really good. That's another thing. I'm a sucker for practical effects. And there are some beautiful kill scenes in practical effects. Like, the Frankenstein monster rips a guy's bottom jaw off, the mummy sticks a little hook up a guy's nose, pulls out a chunk of his brain. It's really good. Like, there are some good-ass, practical film moments, and they're corny as hell, but I love them. And the fight scene, short as it is, this fight, you blink your eyes, you're gonna miss it. It's actually a pretty decent fight, but again, I feel like, it just, because even the Frankenstein monster, and the mummy, when they run into each other at the end of the film, they're like, the fuck? Because they didn't know about it. I like it better when the characters know each other and they have more than one fight. Anyway, I feel like what would have made a better plot is that if you did this film and you had it that, because again, when you think about it, the mummy could be something, the story of the mummy could be something Victor Frankenstein is looking into to build his monster. You could say that the story is that Victor Frankenstein steals like a body part, like he needs organs, and he believes that, these organs from, the jars, the sacred jars that hold the said mummy's organs, like he steals them and makes them part of his monster. And the mummy's obviously not happy about this, wakes up, kills people, and you have a reason why the mummy wants to kill the Frankenstein monster, because it has pieces of it inside of it. I feel like that would have been more, I think that would have been an interesting cause. But, yeah. All in all, I would say skip it. If you really want to see this film, I would say wait till it comes out on... Actually, yeah, wait till it comes out on Sci-Fi or Chiller, because I'm pretty sure you would be able to find it there. Let me get this straight. I don't absolutely hate this movie. Let me clarify right here. I don't absolutely hate this movie, but it's not something I would go back to in a heartbeat. That's all I'm saying. Again, the monsters look pretty good. The practical effects are pretty good, are pretty fun and goofy, and I like that stuff. The actors really kill it, and the plot really just feels all over the place. That's what really kills me, is that the plot just feels all over the frickin' place. And in a movie, you really want to especially in a crossover movie, you really want to keep it coherent and have a good reason why the two characters are fighting, rather than, oh, they both want to kill the same bitch, oh, you're in my way, I gotta kill you to get to kill this bitch. Anyway. And again, I'm a sucker for, Frankenstein stuff, and it's always fun to see a mummy do battle with with another monster. It's always fun. I always like it when you see a mummy show up, because the mummy, out of all the monsters, let me say, and I think I've been meaning to talk about this, of all the movie monsters, well, actually, Creature from the Black Lagoon, you're at the bottom of the list. But I would say The Mummy is like one tier up above the monster list in terms of movie monsters being used in cinema these days. But yeah, it's always good to see a mummy being used, because you don't see that a lot. When's the last time a mummy was awesome? Oh yeah, with Arnold Vosloo playing him. Yeah. That was the last time we ever gave a shit about mummies. But it's always cool to see a mummy and, fighting the Frankenstein monster. I just wish there was better stuff here. So if you see this at the if you see this in like Walmart or wherever you see it at a store in general, I'm gonna have to recommend skipping it. It's better off if you watch it for free of like online or when it airs on Sci-Fi or Chiller or some other TV network. But yeah, it's not a absolutely terrible movie. If anything, it's something to keep you occupied for a while. It's something to keep you interested for a while. If you really are like a fan of Frankenstein and you really like to see a mummy do stuff and you want to see a mummy kill people, because the Mummy does have some kill scenes in here that are really cool. Like it actually has a Black Lantern moment. I don't want to spoil how that goes, but you'll know it when you see it. That's all I'm going to say if you ever watch this movie. But once again, that's pretty much all I have to say about this. And yeah, once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I'm out.